to talk about teachers from hell, because I've had some really, really bad teachers. Some of them where I'm like, you know, fuck you, and some of them where I'm like, I fucking still hate you. Like, really bad teachers. And I'm just gonna start, you know, from the bottom and then work it up to like the worst teachers. So I had this math teacher. I had him from like zero grade, preschool. I think it's called preschool in other countries. Until 5th grade. I had him in 5th grade as well, and then I changed school. And I have always been really, really bad at math. I'm still really bad at math, not as bad as I have been, but I am not good with math. The only person in the fucking world who could explain math to me was my dad. My mom could do math, she just couldn't explain it to me, and neither could my teacher. So my dad, sometimes it would take hours for my dad to like sit down and explain this shit to me, for me to understand it. But he would always like find ways for me to understand and explain things to me so I could understand it. And I would go to school and I would, you know, do it as quick as everybody else. Not as quick as like the best kids, but you know, I could do it. And my teacher would come out and say, oh, that's a really good way of doing it, but it is not the way I teach you. And it is much easier for me if you do it like everybody else, because then everybody does it the same way. Fuck you. So I went home and told my dad, and my dad was like, fuck that. We're just not gonna listen, and we're just gonna do it whatever we want anyway, because my dad got pissed. Fuck the teacher, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And then there's these, you know, meetings with the parents and the teachers. And one time my dad came with us to the teacher, and the teacher got mad at him because he still explained these things to me. And my dad said, well, she doesn't understand your way of doing it. And she just said, well, she just has to learn to understand. And that was like, well, but that is like taking 5 steps in the right direction and then push her 5 steps back again. Like, she can do it. You're saying that the way she's doing it is fine, then just let her do it this way. Like, let's move on from this. Nope, that is not allowed. So yeah, that's probably one reason I'm bad at math, but he probably just made me even worse than math. There's also this other time with the same teacher where I was going to school, and on my way to school I got sick and I went back home. And in the small class you have like these small books that that the mom and the teacher writes in. So like if I had been sick, my mom or my dad would like write in it that I had been sick, so the teacher knew. First of all, he read it out loud to the whole class. You're not allowed to do that. That's private. That's not okay. He wrote that I was sick, and I'm like, yeah, I got sick on my way to school. And then he looked at me like, why did you go home? Well, why do you think, asshole? Like, I went home because I was sick. Like, what's wrong with you? I had another teacher in 7th grade. She was my Danish teacher. I'm not sure if I had her to anything else, but she was my Danish teacher. And she hated me and my friend, but she hated me more. She would literally just talk so badly to me. She would like, get control of your life and stuff like that. Like, she would say, get control over your life to me every single day. Like, every little thing I did, I could like drop a pencil and she would go, get control over your life. My friend, this is perfect. My friend, we had to like write stories one time. I can't remember how, but we had to like choose our stories, but it was really like, we had to choose like a paper, and then on the paper it would say what we had to write about. And it was like 5 different things. And she got like a horror movie, and it had to be like about something, on something. And she wrote, a story about a class that had a teacher who killed them with poking out their eyes, and gave the teacher our teacher's name. The teacher was so fucking pissed. She was so mad. Really, she was so mad at her. And she came over to her when we had to get our stories back, and she sat down. She was like, "Is it you or me who has a problem?" And my friend was like, "It's a story." It was so fun. No, but like, she was really, really mean. One time when we were having a break, I fell and twisted my ankle, and I swear I could not walk. It hurt so bad. I have never broken anything, but that's like the most I have hurt, I think, in any of my bones ever. Like, it hurt so bad. And basically the bell rang and we had to go inside. And my friend had to like help me up because we were going up a hill, and I could barely walk like on the ground normally. On the hill, that was bad and it hurt. And then she was like, because it had been so long since the bell rang, she said, "I'm gonna run in quickly, tell our teacher, and come back out to you." And she did not come back out because the teacher said, "No, leave her, she will come back in by her own." And I come back and she was like, "Oh, did you hurt your foot?" "Yeah." "Well, sit down, probably won't hurt so much then." I had it not that long ago, this teacher, and she hated me as well. And I'm not kidding. I went to school every day being happy, and every day going home sad. Almost every day. Like, she just she didn't like me. There was this guy, didn't hit me, didn't, he was just really mean, like, and really like annoying, annoying you as much as you possibly could with words, and saying bad things, like poking, like really annoying. Yeah. And he could really sit down, poke me, annoy me, the hell out of me. And as soon as I said, "Please stop," my teacher would go off at me and tell me to shut up, stay quiet, don't do that. One time he went off my face and did like this, shh, 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 out of my face, because I was talking to somebody else. And when I told him to stop, the teacher got mad at me. There was this one time, my mom drove me to school because he had the day off and I still lived at home. And he drove me off. I was so happy. Like, we could ask my mom, I was so happy. And we ate breakfast at the school, so we sat and ate breakfast, and then we had a break. And because I am not smoking, I stayed drinking my tea. Yeah. And the teacher started, packing things away, and she said, can you please give me this thing? And I was like, yeah, and I did not get 10 seconds. Like, I was about to like take my hand out. You did not give me 10 seconds to do it. And she just went off at me, and she was like, "Thank you so much for being so nice and helpful, Natasha. You're so sweet. So good you're being so nice." And I was so mad at this point because that was so annoyingly said. It was literally the way she said it. Like, really, just like that. And I said, "First of all, I was about to give it to you. Second of all, we are still having a break. Everybody is outside having a break. But obviously you're only allowed to have a break if you leave this room. So that is what I am going to do." So I took my tea and I left. And she started yelling at me. "That is so nice. It's so good you're in a good mood today, Natasha. Thank you for being so happy today." And she kept on, and I was so mad at this point. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, she's a teacher. She's a fucking grown-up. I'm a grown-up, and I'm like, I would never do that. And she's like 20 years older than me. Like, what the fuck? That, I understand it. And then she was like, because when I got home one day, I was so mad about this. And I told it to my mom. And mom was so mad. She was like, that was like the most like, she has an education where she works with children and, you know, old people. She's the last person in the world, except for my other teachers, who I would ever let near my child. How she got the education is beyond me, because this is everything I would not want my kids to be near. Like, wow. Now to the teacher who I really believe is the devil herself. I had this teacher while I had my math teacher I talked about earlier. She's a nightmare. Like, I cannot stand this woman, and how she was ever a teacher is beyond me. Like, really. First of all, I have some problems when I was little, very little, with my real dad, who was an asshole. And my parents, because I have a dad, not a dad, told her, you know, to understand it and to know why I had problems. And she told it to the whole class, everything. I had no control over what they were allowed to know. She just told them everything. This is very personal stuff. This is not okay. And this part of the reason why I don't trust teachers today, and I don't open up to teachers today, and I don't tell them how I feel, because they will just tell it to everybody else. Like, that's how I feel. Not only that, but I was bullied. I was bullied so much, like both physically and like, yeah, like words and punches, everything. It was actually pretty bad. She would tell me it was my own fault that I was bullied. She would tell me it was my own fault that they hit me because I could just walk away. No, I could not, because they would follow me, okay? I could not just walk away. And it is actually my school as well. I should not have to walk away every time they came over to me. I should be able to be there. Well, like one time, you know, we had like these round things you could like slide down in, and you could slide on top of them. And then one time the bell rang and I would slide on top of them. And he came from the other side, and he could like, at that time I could stop and I could slide down. Some people could like climb up as well, and he could do that. So he did that, and I just stopped myself because it was all I could do. And he would not let me go inside. And it ended up, after we had been out there for like 15 minutes, that he like grabbed me and then pushed me down. Actually, he didn't even push me, he basically threw me down. And I went inside and I told my teacher this, and she said it was my own fault. She told me that I should just have walked inside, and I was like, I was trying. No, you shouldn't have slid down. Well, that was faster than climbing down. Like, it was the quickest way. It was my own fault, and it didn't matter what I said, it was my own fault. Okay, so my mom and my dad knew I was being bullied, and I said she doesn't listen to me if I tell her. So they will write in my book, you know, the little book we talked about before, and tell her what was happening. And then one time they told a story. It was outside school, but people from my school that basically cycled into me on the bicycle. They just went into me, and I somehow got like my hand stuck in the wheel. How it did not break, I don't know, but it fucking hurt, and like I was bleeding on my knees. It hurt so bad. And she said, that was outside school, so there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, listen, bitch. No, that's what she said. So there was this one time, When I was younger, I did have anger issues. Like, it was my way of coping with things that was hard for me. That's not a secret. But there was this one time in like the club you go after school, and they had like a day where we could like sleep at the club, and I was sleeping beside from my school, some girls from my class, and one of the girls said, "I think we should turn out the light." And back then, I could not sleep with no light. I'm still scared of the dark, but I was terrified of the dark back then. Yeah, I was terrified. Today I do sleep with my lights off, but I didn't then. And she completely ignored me and asked one of the adults to please turn the lights off. And I went off. And I'm not saying that was okay. It was not okay. The word I said to her was way over the top. It was bad. But the adults there got mad at me and yelled at me. I was not also sleep with others. I had to sleep alone with a teacher because of this. I was not also sleep with everybody else. My parents got mad at me, and my teacher heard about it and got mad at me in school in front of the whole class. Like, what the fuck? Like, everybody had already been mad at me. It was outside school. When somebody drove into me on a bicycle and almost broke my hand and teared off my knees. It was like, no, I cannot do anything about that. Like, I have never hated someone so much. Like, when we were going to the meetings with like the parents and the teachers and me, they would, and I want to like say this, I was 6 to 12 while going to that school. That was how little I was. They would, from the moment I walked into the room to the moment I went out, just say everything that was wrong with me. They didn't say anything good. My dad was a truck driver when I was little, so he did not have much time to go to these things, and he went with me one of these things once without my mom, and he was furious. He was so mad when we leave, and he did not think this was okay. He was just so mad because they had not said one good thing about me. Not one. Bless you. Well, that was my story about all the bad teachers that I have had. I have luckily, thankfully, also had some pretty good teachers. But you know, it's thanks to people like this that does that kids doesn't trust teachers and doesn't like going to school and doesn't tell the teachers what they feel. It's because of people like this, because you're like, everybody's like this now. So, you know what? Don't get a work, a job with kids or young adults or teens if you do not like people, please. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Bye. Like, what's wrong with you? My dog is being noisy.